Well, hello everyone. It's another beautiful day here on the mountain. It's only 2 degrees, but when that sun comes out from behind the clouds, you can feel the intensity of it. The days are getting longer. Spring is on the way. That wind is bitter though. You can well imagine, I get asked a lot of questions. People ask me questions every day, and I get a lot of them. So I've put out a few Q&A episodes in the past. Some folks love them, some folks don't. But since I spend so much time answering questions, I decided I'm going to try and put out a Q&A episode once a week to try and keep up to date with those questions. Then if I repeatedly getting asked the same question, which I do, I can just point them to the video. Yeah. If you like that sort of thing, you can watch it. If you don't, just skip right over it. Pretty simple. Yeah. One question I get asked all the time lately is about my parka. Yeah. Everybody loves my parka, and I do too. Look at this thing. This hood. Oh, this is awesome. Believe it or not, I got this parka at a yard sale 30 or 35 years ago, and I paid $2.50 for it. I wear it when it's real cold out, and then I put it away, and it's going to last me the rest of my life. Oh, there's the sun again. It's getting behind the pine tree now. It's not as intense as it was a little while ago. Yeah, wonderful parka. It is an old military parka. If you can ever find one, grab it. They're heavy. Yeah, it weighs a lot, but it's a wonderful, wonderful parka. Every time I go ice fishing, this is what I wear, and you will be seeing that real soon. I just dug out all of my ice fishing gear, got that together. I had an old Jiffy ice auger. Well, I call it old. It was brand new. I bought it brand new about 15 years ago, something like that. I never even put gas in it because every time I went fishing, I was with a friend who had his auger. I just got that, fired it up. Yeah. And I am so excited to be back in my old haunts and fishing with my old friends again and back at the places catching trout. I can't wait. Can't wait. Another question, people asking every day, how come I don't just put tracks on the Ranger? Well, I think about it, and I'd love a set of tracks on the Ranger, but it's not the ideal fit for my situation. We drive 1.6 miles down to the pavement, and when the snow is deep and I'm not using the sled, the Ranger on tracks would be fantastic. But when we get down to the pavement, our vehicles are another 7/10 of a mile up the road. I don't want to drive those $5,000 tracks or whatever they cost up the pavement. So tracks aren't the perfect solution. And plus, when the road is all packed down, the wheels work great. So right now, doing with the Skidoo for when the traveling's not good for the Ranger, and then using the Ranger when it's all packed down. And I got the chains, which are fantastic, but when this road gets icy, I'm telling you, it's a hell of a slope going down, but with the chains, we just crawl right up it. Fantastic. A lot of people are wondering why I made the investment in the Ranger like that, like I did. Well, myself, I'd be fine with just jumping on a regular ATV and zipping down the road to go get stuff, or throwing on my pack basket and walking up and down the mountain, which I do occasionally. But it's not just me to think about. So, you know, it wasn't really Lori's dream to come and live up this remote and this off-grid like this to this degree, but she was all hyped for coming up and spending the winter. We've talked about that for years, so that's what we're doing. We're up here and we're taking it one day at a time, so it's not just me to think about. So I spent a little extra money on the Ranger and got it with some comfort, a little heat and things like that, and I'm not sorry I did it. She gets right in it and drives it down and goes, does the shopping, drives the machine, and it's great. So It was a good investment for my needs. Yeah, and I'm not sorry I got it. It's been a nice machine. Yeah, it certainly has. I think the million-dollar question, people ask me all the time, how I came up with my username, Boss of the Swamp. People make the assumption that it's one of two things. Either it's because I lived on a swamp there in New York, or they know that when I was doing nuisance wildlife control up there in New York, I was doing a lot of that for farmers where beavers had flooded farmland, and I was doing some wildlife control work for them. So they think maybe I called myself Boss of the Swamp, like as if I think I was the boss of it, you know, like the master trapper or something of that nature. And it has nothing to do with that. I don't consider myself the boss of anything, not even Frankie over here. I swear he knows everything I say. What a clown. So let me explain how it all came about. Back in '06, I started a forum online called Swamp Talk. Everybody referred to it as the Swamp. Since I was the owner of it, whenever someone would write to me or comment to me or refer to me, they called me the boss. Hey boss, boss man, boss of the swamp, that sort of thing. So there was one weekend when my friend Tom and we went to the cabin just to drink beer and cook venison and just have fun.
Well, don't say you learned it on Swamp Talk.
And we were getting pretty snookered there, you know. And we were just fooling around with the camera, and we made a little parody. And then we wanted to share it with some of the other guys on Swamp Talk. The only way to do that I knew of was to put it on YouTube. I was not planning on having a YouTube channel. So I started a YouTube channel, and I called it Boss of the Swamp, and we shared the video. Then after, since I had the channel, I put up a few more videos from time to time, and the channel just evolved into what it is. And that's how it came about, Boss of the Swamp. Excuse me. But as my channel progressed, I shared more of my passions, and my passions are living off the grid, cabin life, self-reliance, that sort of thing. And I'm very passionate about life and chasing dreams, and I would share my philosophies with my subscribers, and then more and more people would write and say that how I inspire them, and they get a lot of inspiration from my postings. And then they were sharing photos with me on Facebook and stuff, like, because they were fulfilling their dreams now. They were inspired by me, and I kind of like gave them that kick in the butt, so to speak, and they were out fulfilling their dreams. So that was really encouraging to me to carry on in the direction that I was going. And it became a win-win, because I would help people and inspire them, and then they would share that with me, and it would encourage me, and it was like a snowball, and it was great. So the content of my channel has changed over the years, and I considered changing the name of it, but Boss of the Swamp really became branded already. So changing it now, well, it makes more sense to keep it as it is. So I'm going to keep it as it is, but like I said, I don't consider myself the boss of absolutely anything. So that's how Boss of the Swamp came about. A lot of folks are asking about Patreon. When am I going to launch it? Well, we are launching it right now. We got some new content on there. We're going to send it out there and see how it goes. I have a whole bunch of new videos and new content already lined up to put on it. Let me explain how this is going to work. Nothing is going to change on YouTube, like I said before, and I've proven that. I'm still posting, my content stays the same, no changes there, and it's free content. It's much like if I was a restaurant owner and I had my little family restaurant, and my menu went from steak to grilled cheese. But I like to be a chef, and I like to make things a little bit higher end cuisine, some higher end cuisine, okay? That's a good way to put it. So it's not a good fit for the family restaurant. It's different cuisine altogether. So I open a new restaurant with that cuisine. Same owner, two different restaurants. So this is different content going on a different platform while YouTube stays the same. I think that's a pretty good example of what I'm doing. Ever since I've been doing my videos, a lot of folks are intrigued about my journals and they want to hear more. With all the negativity on YouTube, it's really not a good fit for my journal readings. I don't want to share my private life like that. I've been writing a journal since 1980. I don't really feel like putting it on YouTube. So I have a different platform for that. And it's a subscription base. It's not asking for donations, not in any way, shape, or form. It's a subscription. Like people get a subscription to Netflix. People buy a subscription to a magazine. That's all it is. It's two levels, a $3 level, $3 per month, or $10 per month. And that's it. That's it. And I'm sharing all kinds of cool stuff, and I have a lot of cool ideas, but right now we're jumping off where it is right now, and then I'm going to feel it out and let that evolve and take its own course. So that's what I'm doing with that. Yeah. So it's The Boss of the Swamp on Patreon, and I'll put the link in the description below. So I'm going to continue on with these Q&As, put them out once a week, and try to keep up to date with all the questions that come in. And if you like that sort of thing, you can watch it, and if you don't, just pass by it. It's as simple as that. So I'm going to get this wheelbarrow filled up with wood, get back in the cabin, get back to editing. So all the best to you folks. God bless.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did and you'd like to see more of the cabin life, please click the subscribe button so that you can follow along with future updates. All the best to you, and God bless.